IELTS Listening, Section 4. You will hear a lecturer giving a lecture about the role of wetlands in the ecosystem. First, you have sometimes to look at questions 31 to 40. Now we shall begin. You should answer the question as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer the questions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's lecture on wetlands, a subject that is often underestimated in environmental discussions, but is, in reality, of paramount ecological significance. Wetlands encompass a range of landscapes such as swamps, bogs, marshes, and mangrove forests, and they offer a remarkable array of services to both the planet and to human life. Now, one of the most critical roles wetlands perform is cleaning up pollutants. They are often described as the filtration units of the earth, much like kidneys in a human body. They absorb and break down harmful substances through natural biological processes, helping purify the environment and maintain clean ecosystems. Another crucial service wetlands provide is in the conservation and slow release of raw water. These areas are capable of holding vast volumes of fresh liquid over long periods. During dry spells, this stored moisture helps stabilize groundwater levels and sustain both human and ecological needs. In terms of biodiversity, wetlands act as sanctuaries. They are essential breeding and nesting grounds for thousands of wildlife species, with particular importance for birds. In fact, migratory birds rely heavily on these habitats for resting, feeding, and raising their young. Wetlands are irreplaceable in this sense. If we consider coastal regions, mangrove wetlands are especially important. Their dense root systems trap sediment and cushion the land from natural forces. For instance, they help minimize the devastating impact of sea surges and aggressive waves, particularly during storms and cyclones. This natural shield is far more effective and sustainable than man-made seawalls. Furthermore, wetlands help regulate the hydrological cycle. During heavy rains, they act like massive sponges, soaking up surplus water and releasing it slowly, which significantly lowers the risk of flooding in nearby towns and cities. This buffering ability is increasingly important in the age of climate change and unpredictable weather patterns. Now let's talk about threats. The destruction of wetlands often results in irreversible damage. When these areas are cleared or drained, entire food chains collapse, soil quality degrades, and natural flood protection disappears. The environmental consequences are far-reaching. Sadly, one major driver behind wetland loss is fast urbanization. As cities grow, wetlands are paved over for buildings, parking lots, and roads. Their ecological importance is often overlooked in favor of development projects that prioritize short-term economic gain. Additionally, large-scale agricultural practices are wreaking havoc. Intensive farming, especially those involving heavy irrigation, fertilizers, and pesticides, introduces pollutants and disrupts the natural nutrient cycles within these ecosystems, sometimes turning lush wetlands into barren lands. On a global scale, wetlands are essential for climate regulation. They serve as carbon reservoirs, or carbon sinks. The soil and vegetation in these areas store enormous amounts of carbon, which would otherwise be released into the atmosphere and contribute to global warming. When wetlands are drained, that stored carbon escapes, further exacerbating climate change. Lastly, all of these functions work together to maintain ecological balance. If wetlands are lost, we lose this delicate equilibrium. Their preservation is not just about saving birds or preventing floods. It's about protecting the overall stability of our environment. That wraps up today's lecture. Next week, we'll be exploring rainforests and their contribution to oxygen production and carbon cycling.
That is the end of Section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Please make sure you have transferred all your answers to the answer sheet correctly. The listening test is now over. You may now proceed to the reading section.